Yes, sir. Devon, what
what's
up,
going
man?
on?
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
Man, appreciate you jumping on here, man. Hey, I put shit into existence, man. I said, hey, Heisman hopeful. Let's get it cracking.
Throw
why
it out
not?
there right now. Throw it
Why
out
not?
there right now for sure.
He pulled up clean with the Nike tracksuit. Okay. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Up early. How are y'all?
Good,
Same
man.
here,
Good.
man. Grinding.
Hey, so you from Arizona, right?
Yeah. I was born in Minnesota till I was about 4, and then I've been out in Arizona ever since. So I would say this is my home for sure.
You went from the cold to the hot.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it. Hey, so what got you to New Mexico?
Well, first I would say I'm kind of a a love type of guy. So they were kind of the school that came out early after my junior year and just fought hard for me. So for that to be close to my parents to make the games, that's everything I could ask for. It's an opportunity.
So they showed love early. You felt loyal to them, and you were like, "I'm out. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm gonna roll with them because they showed the most love early and often."
Yeah, for sure. It sounded like they wanted me. It can't go wrong being somewhere you're loved.
Hey, so in this current space, Devon, it feels great to be wanted. I used to tell my recruits that every day. It feels good to be wanted. I don't care if you're a regular Joe walking down the street, 2 girls look at you and say hi. You feel good, right? Oh, I feel good. It feels good to be wanted. Nowadays, in this current landscape, as we just mentioned, Bear Alexander, who's been to 4 high schools in 4 years, now his 3rd college. How does that work with you? Like all these schools plucking at you, you enter the portal. First of all, break down why you enter the portal.
Yeah.
And then tell us what goes through that process like this before school starts and you got to make a choice and get into a new school with a new locker room, new coach, new philosophy, new culture. But you have this much time to transfer into the portal and then take on all the callers and then figure out what you figured out in 4 years of high school to pick New Mexico, now in 4 weeks to pick your next school.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just I would say, after the season, obviously I have those talks with, the people around me, but decisions like that, you go to the people close to you. So just hearing everybody's opinion on, my situation and just what was going on at the university at the time, that's what I felt was best for me to obviously go to the league. That's the biggest picture out of all of it. So as soon as the portal opened up, obviously Utah was one of those schools that reached out right away as soon as the dates opened, and it was fast. Like they came fast that morning. Obviously, they were able to hire my old OC at New Mexico, so that gave a lot of leverage already. We did great things together, so happened to be in the same situation with that, and just that defense, and they got a pretty crazy O-line. They're really highly ranked. A couple of first rounders next year and a second round center. So I'm in a super great situation, and that's all I needed to hear to be on board and know if you can make playoffs nowadays, that's the move. So this team is definitely able to do that. So
Hey, when you get on camp, I know you've been on campus, you signed your docs, and then you came back home to Arizona. Have you got like all your guys, like let's say coaches and like support staff? You got all their numbers yet?
Yeah. I got all their numbers saved in my phone.
All right, so you got Reggie Dunn's number?
No. I ain't got Reggie's yet. Okay.
Get Coach Dunn's number.
Get his number.
Text him, say, "You're a slap dick," Coach JB said.
Make sure you say Coach JB said first.
I raised that baby. I coached him, recruited him since he was this high. So he played for me. Tell Coach, go holler at Coach Cano. I know you've met Cano.
Yep.
Coach Cano's coached with me for 25 years. A lot of those guys on that staff I'm really close with. A lot of the Polynesian staff as well on that staff I'm really good with. So you got a great one. And then Eric Weddle, of course, played there, and his son was offered there as well. He's a freshman QB out here in Cali in high school. You're going to a good place. I know that. Winningham wins.
Good culture.
You could argue they're a quarterback away from winning this year. So, they got hurt.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's exciting, man. Smitty, go ahead.
Yeah.
You muted.
y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My mic, had to short my mic. Yeah, I want to kind of ask you like more of a broader question about the transfer portal, man. So we always have conversations on here just about like the new culture. Like, you know, I played at Ball State, you know, years ago, and I was under the old rules where you could transfer one time, had the red shirt, and then you could play. Obviously now, you know, it's like wild west, you know, where players can leave whenever they want to. And to me and JB, we kind of agree on this, where I feel like it has affected college football in a negative way. You being an actual player though, and having the, you know, being in it, what's your, I guess, take on just the transfer portal overall? Do you think it's more of a benefit to you guys, or has it been more of a negative thing for players overall?
Yeah. You know, as I think the transfer portal as an idea, I think it's a great idea for us. You know, a lot of people do kind of get screwed in certain situations. You know, some people fall for the traps of, you know, you feel really wanted and then you get there, you know, you don't get to play. So, you know, I think the access to be able to leave and, you know, have the opportunity to play right away, I think that, you know, that's anything an athlete should be able to ask for. And now how people are actually going about it, I think, you know, that's what's turning into a negative aspect. People are like obviously prioritizing, you know, money at the time. And, I mean, sometimes it feels like that's all people are prioritizing right now. So I think, you know, for me, obviously, I use it as, you know, my next stepping point to get me to the NFL. That's, you know, that's my huge goal. So I think if you use it right, obviously, you know, I mean, you use anything right, you're going to get good out of it. But yeah, I mean, college football is taking a turn. It is quite crazy to see and, you know, be around, you know, just hearing the guys on how they go about certain situations. So, yeah, it's something. It's something for sure.
Quick follow-up, JB, to that real quick. So, like, obviously, the way that you're doing it, I think, is the right way, right? Like, you're trying to just better your situation, get to the next level. Boom. I think that's perfectly smooth how you're doing it. But just being in the locker room with your peers and other players and just talking to them and hearing the conversations, do you feel like today's players are like afraid of competition or afraid to like stay one place and like earn it? Like me, I didn't start when I first got to school. Now I played, I rotated, but I had to grind a year or two before I earned my starting position, and then I got it. Where now it's like, if I'm a 4-star guy or whatever the case may be, if I'm not getting, you know, 75 plays right out the gate, I'm gone. Like, do you feel like that's the vibe with players now, or am I reading too much into that?
No, I will say, you know, you do get a couple people like that for sure. Yeah, but, they go in this situation as in like, you know, oh, I'm not getting the targets here, then I'm about to go somewhere else. Or, you know, this coaching staff, especially, you know, obviously you get it out of the higher recruits, you know, saying, oh, this coaching staff doesn't rock with me, I'm a 4 or 5-star. Somebody else is going to value me more, so I'm going to leave. So, you know, I think the process of development might be going down just a little bit, just because, you know, people are so fast to want to start. Development isn't, you know, happening as much right now. So, yeah, there's something going on with that side too.
Let me ask you something. If your head coach stayed, let's say at New Mexico, and your OC had left, are you staying at New Mexico or leaving?
That's a good question.
I'm just saying, like, who recruited you? Who recruited you? Because people don't realize in this game, like, a lot of, like, I was the head coach, but I was the OC QB guy. Plus, I was the recruiter. I was the true go-getter on staff, right? A lot of staffs have a go-getter that's not the head coach that gets a lot of these kids to come there. And if he leaves, you see the whole team leave. What got you there? Who'd you lean on more? And then what's more impactful to you as a quarterback? Is it the head coach that you have loyalty with that recruited you, if so? Or was it the OC that you depend on to go to the league because of his offensive style and how he's going to put you in the right position to succeed? What has that ever been a thought?
Yeah. So I was recruited at this school by Danny Gonzalez. That was the staff, you know, that kind of got me here. So they ended up leaving after that first year, and you know, obviously the first person. I stayed. And the first person I talked to was Mendenhall, and then I talked to Beck right after. So I talked to both of them, and I was like, this seems like a great situation for me. It seems like this is a good change about to happen. I feel like I can adapt to what's going to go around. I'm going to compete for my spot, and that's what happened. They came in. So
how many guys,
say,
like how many kids do you see, like teammates that were yours that left, or who you see don't give the new coach an opportunity to holler at them when they take the job? Like how have you seen a lot of cats just be like, screw this, I'm out, I'm in the portal because this guy left? Is it now like a scapegoat technique that I can leave without being labeled the bad guy as a quitter, or I don't want to compete because my head coach left, so I'm leaving? Is that a thing you see now, or is it something deeper than that?
Yeah, no, I've seen people take it as like it's almost like a safety route. Coaches will tend to bring in back their players if they get the head coaching job, saying, you should come back. So for the players to know, if they go in the portal, they can adventure, and then, nothing well goes, they're just going to come back to the head coach and have that conversation and go, I didn't realize you were getting hired. I want to come back. Like you could. So, I mean, I think players are starting to use it as, somewhat of a leverage just to feel the portal out before the new staff comes into that school.
Hey, so listen, we got Coach Gio who trains you. So what you did this last season, right? You ran for almost 1,200. You almost ran for 20 touchdowns. You throw. I mean, look at this. You're up there with all these different people in the history of college football, which is crazy, right? Like you're in the statistical legendary status
with Heisman winners.
A lot of legendary guys that are all won Heismans. So I expect you to be in there too, man. I don't expect nothing less. But let me ask you, what are you going to take from the film that you've witnessed and seen and take it to this offseason with Coach Gio? We're going to bring in here in a second. What do you got to work on? Because you're a humble, great speaking kid, man. What are you looking at as like, all right, I did a deep dive now. I need to know what I need to do from Coach Gio and your standpoint. And then has Winningham and that staff told you, hey, we need you to work on release, mechanics, getting rid of the ball, pre-snap, post-snap? Where are you at with your own game that you need to work on this offseason?
Yeah, I think accuracy is, something, I can always get better at. The placement of the ball is huge for me. That's something, I truly take passion in. So, just working with Gio, we're constantly, working concepts, and, he's having me throw those balls, whether it's, it's a zip or I'm throwing over the linebacker, I'm throwing a certain route multiple times just so I get the feel of, every possible throw that could happen in that situation. And just from last year, I would say the deep ball is something, I want to work on more often. I want to be more consistent going that way. Just more completions. I had a lot of big plays, but just to be a couple percentage higher on that throw, it's going to change the way my year goes for sure.
Nice. Before we bring your coach in, Smitty, and before Smitty has one question, we're bringing Coach Gio in. Is it a distraction that now in this NIL era that you get approached by, let's just say, I call them vultures, street agents? There's a lot of bad out there, right? That comes with the good. A lot of bad comes with that. Do you see like the females coming at you a little stronger? Hey, I mean, the females be like, "Hey, I saw that deal you got, boy." Like, you see that shit happening like more often than not.
Yeah, I would definitely say.
You don't gotta say that deep. You don't gotta go too deep, but we just want to know. Yeah. Because Smitty never got treated like that. Smitty ain't never had that. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was in the MAC. I was a D lineman. Y'all two were quarterbacks. Quarterbacks always get treated differently than the D tackles, the D linemen. So y'all experience might be a little different than mine.
Everyone says that, man.
Quarterbacks are on a pedestal. Y'all, it is what it is. Listen, y'all got the hardest position on the field. I get it. But quarterbacks, y'all put the red jersey on. Everything a little different. It's okay. I get it.
Hey, without further ado,
we gotta work for it.
Hell yeah. Hey, let's bring in your main man, Coach Gio, who's coaching you up. Coach, what up, man?
What's going on, fellas? Everything good?
Hey, good, man. Good. Hey, this kid is a great well-spoken kid, man. Let me ask you, when you get this kid in your hands, and you start to work with him, are you media training him at all?
I've been with him since he was in diapers. He probably told you that. Like, that's the funny.
Literally.
He'll say I was in diapers when I started training Devon. So I kind of raised him, you know what I mean? Up from how to do the things, try to do everything right, be correct, and learn how to talk, you know, to coaches and, you know what I'm saying, to the media. Yeah. So we've worked on everything. He's been around a lot of guys that have come through the program and seen how they've handled themselves, good and bad. But this is an unbelievable kid right here, as you just, you know, kind of found out. He's a great individual with a great heart, you know what I mean? And he's going about things the right way for sure.
Nah, no doubt. Hey, Devon, I got to ask both of you and Coach Gio before Smitty dives in. Sorry, Smitty. Let me ask you guys something. The kid at Penn State, the backup QB, said he didn't want to leave Penn State. He said, I didn't want to leave, but the portal time frame made me leave. Here's what I struggle with, man. If you committed, you do know decommitment is not a word in the dictionary, right? I just want to throw that out there. So when you committed, let's say without the circumstances that happened and your coach left and your OC left and you said, all right, but let's just say that you're in a playoff scenario, okay? Put yourself in that Penn State backup kids scenario where Drew Aller was apparently an NFL guy. He said, you know what? Scouts had told me otherwise. I'm not ready. I'm going to come back to the league. Come back to the team at Penn State. And then you, Devon, are the backup. Do you just say, screw it, I'm out? Or do you say, you know what, man? Coach Gio, my parents, they're going to say, nah, we're going to fight this thing through. We got a couple years still left. We're in a playoff scenario. I can still get better. And then if the coach said, hey, you got an opportunity to beat this guy out in the spring, as promised, when I recruited you, what do you do in that scenario? Is it that hard now with the NIL and the opportunities that lie ahead to leave and chase that, or is there still loyalty that exists to, hey, I'm going to stay here? Or is there no loyalty and you're like, hey, the coach is leaving, I'm leaving? Like, where are you at with this whole thing? Because it's very fascinating.
Yeah. I feel like if I have the years to be able to, sit behind the guy and, learn from him and feel like, I'm going to have enough years to where, I can compete and, finally have my time under there. And if it's a track that I can get to the NFL, no doubt about it. I think competing, that's what's going to make you better that whole entire season. And, learning from some guy, I did in my freshman year, I feel like that helped me a lot. So learning from a guy that's, supposedly going to the NFL, I don't think he can do anything but help you out in that situation.
Gio, what would you advise him on that same question? What are you advising your kid at Penn State if that's him? Is he staying through this playoff run, which will now limit your access to entering a new school because this academic semester has begun, which is asinine by that 4-letter word we can't say with Devon on here. Where are you at with that?
Well, the biggest thing I've ran into with some of the guys that are in similar situations is it's hard to go anywhere if you don't have any tape. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, they all want to see tape. Oh, hey, do you got any tape on it? We didn't play a lot yet. Well, okay. So a lot of times you're better off, like you said, sometimes waiting there, staying at the same place, competing, get it, see what the opportunity comes for you and waiting it out and waiting for that chance the next, because you don't have anywhere to go. Then you get in the portal, you're screwed. And I've had a couple kids that's happened to, right? And I'm like, you better make sure, that this is the right deal for you. So I think it's a case by case deal. But I told Devon last year when the new staff came in, I'm like, just stay. You don't need to get in the portal. He thought about it a little bit because the coaches that recruited him left, right? So
right.
I was just like, nah, hey, give this thing a go. You got some tape from last year. Go out and show everybody you could play, and then see what happens. Each, take it next year, a year by year basis, and that's what he did. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with staying. And sometimes you can stay through the spring and see how it goes, because I think there's another portal, opportunity as well. You just worry about sometimes they tell you stuff, this coach, and they tell a kid something. Next thing you know, they bring some other guy in. You know what I
Right.
mean? And now I missed my opportunity. So I think you got to handle it case by case, and get the right people around you, giving you good information. Then you got a shot, to hopefully make a good decision. That's how I look at it. And Devon did a good thing. He made a good decision. Played his butt off this year. His coaches left. He can't control that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at least he's following one of his coaches to a dang good football program in Utah. All of us know that they're perennial in the back. Just last Pac-12, champion. Always in that consideration. So they were just a little down this year. I think quarterback play was had played 3 or 4 guys this year, maybe 5. You ain't gonna win
injuries.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard
Smitty,
time.
you got a question?
Yeah, Dev. Speaking of Utah, I want to ask you this straight up. Like, what are you looking forward to the most as far as playing for Utah, being in a new situation, great program, great history? Like, what's the thing that it's like you're thinking of and just looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm taking out of this opportunity is seriously having one of the top O-linemen. You can't ask for nothing better from a quarterback standpoint. I'm gonna feel real protected, and having a defense. Last year I didn't. Last year we had some troubles on defense at my old school, so to be at a place where maybe 21 points is enough to win the game, that's huge for me. That lets me know I'm in a good situation all around. So I'm very excited to be in that.
And someone with your talents, I know you go into every game feeling like I'm worth at least 3 touchdowns. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can get us 3 touchdowns, whether I run for 2, throw 1, however way I get it done. So having that great defense that definitely changes the game there. Have you had a chance to start connecting with your O-line and with your teammates yet? Or are you still kind of in the early phases right now?
Yeah, no, on my visit, a couple guys that stayed at home, they took the time out of their day to come out and meet me. So, I felt, very loved. The players felt like they wanted to get to know me right away, and, especially the O-linemen. So, I already feel kind of welcomed. I know I still got to prove myself at this new school. I got to let everyone see me in person and, see what I'm fully capable of. So just getting ready to, fully prove myself to my teammates, earn their respect.
No,
let me ask you a logistic question. Like, if you're in the locker room, because I got a lot of buddies that are coaching at the big time level, and I got kids that are in there coaching it now, and I'm like, Devon Dampier is getting, let's just say you get an NIL deal and you get X amount of dollars, and then there's another Devon Dampier that we just recruited that is not getting anywhere near it. He's getting the minimum NIL possibility. When the head coach walks in and he just rips into your ass for missing XYZ throw or this read or this check, and you're the backup, are you feeling a certain type of way now? Because I know that Devon's getting this dollar amount. I'm not. So I'm going to leave now and chase greener pastures, because I see that a lot. And it's like, if everyone's not making the same money like the NFL, at least being on a salary, then it seems like cats want to get up out of there because they're like, I don't need to get yelled at the same way if I'm not making the same money. Is that a thing in locker rooms?
Yeah, that's again what I was saying. I think college football is, there is a turn in that aspect. People are caring about how lovey-dovey and how caked up the coaches are doing towards them, and what money is coming in for them. My freshman year, I haven't, I was on a lower NIL standpoint, obviously, and that didn't really bother me too much. That's something I kind of just don't focus on. I'm in season, I'm playing football, I'm doing what I love, so everything else that comes with it. I think just a lot of people are losing that mindset going into football and how they're being coached up.
Is it most from your experiences, and obviously, like, don't say no names, nothing like that, but like just from your experiences, is it mostly like the 4 or 5-star guys that you're seeing that's kind of mad about the money, or are you even seeing like some of the the 2-3-star guys or whatever? I was an average Joe. I was a 3-star guy myself, so like I'm just trying to think, like we're always on this show having debates about this, and I'm just curious of like how deep is this thing? Like, is it half the team is pissed off because they're not making X amount, or is it just really like a small handful of bad apples in the bunch, so to speak?
Yeah, I think it mostly comes from the people that feel like they're playing well and feel like they recently just played well, and they're not seeing a dramatic change in the income. So I think that's the people that it starts to hit the most.
Got you.
Hey, a question real quick, and I want to ask you and Gio before you guys get out of here. I appreciate you joining us, man. You're a great youngster, man. Great mind on your head, man, on your shoulders. I got to ask you, I don't know if you know DJ, a kid I grew up around, and his whole family is good friends of mine, coaches of mine. He has said, I'm declaring for the 25 draft. Now, I used to tell my players that I'm recruiting, like, hey, man, tweet my current players. And I'm telling Devin, you want to come here, tweet my players and ask them. The players ain't going to lie, Devin. Y'all ain't going to lie to each other. Even if you're at Florida State and you're at Utah and they texting you, hey, dog, it's real here. Or they're going to tell you, don't come here, dog. Right? Players. Yeah. And I used to, hey, I had nothing to hide. That's how I got my kid. Tweet my players. They'll tell you, hey, Coach AB is a straight up real one. He'll cuss your ass out, but he's going to love on you, and you're going to – boom, that's what the tweet will be. Right. You tweet – I advise you, Coach Gio, to tweet these guys making these decisions to leave to enter the NFL draft. I would hit them up and ask them what the process is like. Why are you leaving? Why have you decided not to transfer again versus the NFL draft? And what do you think about that for guys leaving?
Yeah, I think that's a real solid way to go about it for sure. Learning from somebody's experience, I think that's going to tell you a good feeling of what you feel like you want to do after you hear somebody break down their movement on what they want to do, especially player to player standpoint. It don't get more relatable than that. So I think that's really smart to reach out to those guys just to fill them out and make sure your situation fits in line.
No doubt. Coach Gio, you advise those guys to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? You got to get you. If you want to buy a BMW, you don't go to Mercedes. It's a store.
Bars right now.
But I'm just saying, right? You want to go talk to the person, that's actually driving that car. That you want. You know what I mean? And getting your information firsthand if you can, and then taking that all and weighing out, kind of making sure you're not just completely, being, persuaded one way or another, but you got to have as much information as you can on anything to make a good decision.
For sure.
No doubt.
Hey, last question for me. I know you guys got to go. For all the new fans, first time seeing you, and maybe this next year will be the first time watching you play, Devin, how would you describe your game? Is there like a current, like maybe an NFL player that you try to model your game after, or that you just even see similarities in terms of how you play the game?
Yeah, I think height-wise and the way my body's built, I would say I want to be like a electric Russell Wilson. I think that's the game right there that I feel like that's where I fit in. That's my category. Aaron Rodgers has always been my favorite thrower, so I try to be all around with that. Make those incredible throws, the not normal ones. So that's what I model, throwing after. But I feel like, as a set player, that's who I am.
An electric Russell Wilson mixed with Aaron Rodgers. If you could combine all three of those, man, you got a bright future, brother.
Hey, Devin, before you guys get out of here, if you had a vote, who were you selecting for the Heisman? Hey, you don't have to answer, dog. I'm just saying, if you were a voter,
Devin said, "I plead the fifth."
Yeah, you're putting me in a bad situation. I was one of those guys that said that they can't win no matter who they pick. Sadly, they're at a year where it was very hard to make this decision. So
you ahead of your age, dog. You very well. You're really well media trained, man. And that's just the it factor. I doubt you went to classes to learn the shit. The it factor is real with you. So that's why you're probably a 2-time high school state champ and et cetera, right? You got the it factor. Yeah. So
The future is
shout
bright,
out.
JB.
Shout out.
JB's been worried about the young generation, but this is a prime example, JB, that not all the young people are losing their mind. There's some great young people still out here, JB.
I'm going
Now,
to
you
tell
don't
you
have to
what.
lose your mind. You don't have to lose your mind to be soft, though.
Well, all young people, they ain't all soft, obviously, either. So there you go.
Hey,
Devon,
Gio, man, appreciate you. You raised a
Yeah.
great one here.
Yeah.
Shout out to your mom and your pops, Devon, and continue to do great things, man. And good luck at Utah. I'll have to make it to a game, man. Tell Reggie Dunn he's a slapdick. So is Kano. Let them both know I love them. And I'll see you. I'll be watching you, man. Good luck.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
have to have you on the show again, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
No
All right,
problem,
Devon. Good luck, man. Gio, I appreciate you, brother, coming in here.